let's talk about the Austrian I was gone again for a while. I worked with Cadillac in the 24 Hours of Le Mans stream, which was really awesome. Then I went to New York City for the F1 movie premiere with KFC. Thank you too much to KFC. And then I went to Pikes Peak and worked on the broadcasting team, which was awesome experience. And if we could talk about that if people are interested, but I think F1 gets the most views on any channel here. We're really going to emphasize my favorite word, patterns. I always tell you guys to look for patterns, and unfortunately for Williams fans, you're going down. Actually, if you'd like to invest, now is the time to buy Williams stocks. For Carlos Sainz, specifically during the Austrian Grand Prix, he was unable to start his car, and then his brakes lit up. His exit in Q1 was because of floor damage and brake problems, which he explained right after. And then I guess it just compounded. Carlos Sainz has only scored 2 points in the last 4 races. And then there's also Alex Albon. Unfortunately, he has DNF'd 3 times in a row, which is the most, I think, since 2023 with Valtteri Bottas. And before then, it's going to be in the 80s, like 16 times in a row. But in modern F1 times, that's a lot. He's also DNF'd on different types of tracks. So, of course, there's the bad luck on the track that they have to deal with battles and people taking them out and damaging their cars. As well as the car's reliability, Williams has got to do some soul searching. When we did actually get to start the race after the Carlos Sainz whole debacle, we had Kimi Antonelli turning into a projectile into Max Verstappen. This is really a nothing burger. Of course, we saw people online trying to think that it was something and start shit between each other. It was really nothing. Kimi Antonelli felt terrible. Kimi Antonelli went to see Max Verstappen to apologize. I think we can forgive Kimi Antonelli. Max actually went on to watch the Spa 24 Hours where the team that he owns won in the gold class category. And congratulations to Max for catching that, because he possibly would have missed it. So really thank you, Kimi Antonelli. And moving on to our P1 and P2 in the podium, I think Lando Norris ran like a 99% perfect race. 99.9999% of a perfect race. I will compliment Lando Norris when it is due, as much times as I've given him enough gruff. I mean, right off the bat, amazing start. Didn't bottle it, and all those memes that people say that he messes up the first corner. Defended against Charles Leclerc, Piastri was then able to pass Charles Leclerc pretty easily, so that was great teamwork on both of them working it out. He then stayed cool under Piastri's pressure, which he usually doesn't stay cool under pressure in general, was able to defend against his teammate. His strategy worked really well between him and his team and his race engineer. He dealt with traffic, even though traffic was a huge pain in the ass. He stayed consistent. He only had a few mess-ups, which is why I say 99.999% perfect race. His race engineer was hyping him up through the radio. We know Austria is a strong track for him, but we are glad to see Lando Norris, and hopefully that builds his confidence for the next coming race weekend. I did love Piastri's aggressiveness, willing to battle with his teammate right off the bat, obviously passing Charles Leclerc and sticking with Lando Norris so close, even though there are complaints of the dirty air throughout the previous race weekends. But I don't know if it's Piastri's inexperience we've been seeing, because right, he hasn't been racing as long as Lando Norris here in Formula 1, or was it the issue of team orders? Now I say that because, of course, in papaya rules, they're allowed to race each other. The only rule is no contact between each other. With that, I wonder if that played into Piastri's mindset, that he couldn't do anything really aggressive or crazy moves-wise, because he was too worried about the McLaren team orders of like no touching, no wheels, none of that. And he didn't want to cause another incident. So maybe a little bit of both there on Piastri, but again, great race from him. And as always in his post-race conference, he said, I didn't win, gotta do better next weekend. Speaking of, what was the lap traffic doing? Tsunoda, I believe, was battling in the way of Piastri. Colapinto running Piastri off the road, did not even see him there. And then Alonso just simply getting in the way. And I understand you're allowed to unlap yourself, but my brother in Christ, read the room. We are on the last lap. What do you think you're going to do? Colapinto did get a 5-second time penalty and 1 penalty point for a total of 3 now in a 12-month period. And yeah, the other 2 incidents with Tsunoda and Fernando Alonso are well within the rules, but it's just... And I understand some folks from other forms of racing will be like, well, you would die if you watched IndyCar. I do watch IndyCar. I do watch sports car racing where the blue flag rules are completely different than Formula 1, but specifically in Formula 1, the rule set. What are we doing here? Another pattern is Ferrari. It's slow but steady, but you're going up, Ferrari fans. I'm glad you bought low, because you're going to sell high here. They were playing it safe. They didn't do anything exceedingly wrong or anything exceedingly right here. They had a new floor upgrade. Charles Leclerc said it was a step in the right direction, but both Hamilton and Leclerc didn't say if it was good or working out really well. So unsure if it works, but currently P3, P4, not bad. I believe it was Hamilton's best qualifying so far, though he was still upset at the team's communication, and that's the only additional pattern that's kind of downward for Ferrari. He was upset at the pit stop timings, and he was still 9 seconds off his teammate. Overall, Ferrari going up. And another pattern up. It's a good weekend for a lot of teams. Steak, Sauber. Here I thought Nico Hülkenberg's points was a one-off, was a fluke. But yet you look at the consistency and you're so happy for it. Best qualifying for Bortoleto. First Q3 appearance, great pace through the rest of the race. Him and Fernando Alonso got into a really good fight and then they had a huge hug after the race. Nico Hülkenberg scoring points again for the third race in a row, which is the team's longest consecutive scoring streak since 2022. Yeah, this is looking good for them. I really hope the next season keeps progressing well for them. Again, 3 races in a row, doing really well for Hülkenberg. Bortoleto showing up now. I think Sauber has figured out something, which is great. And again, everyone's favorite to talk about or rag on, Liam Lawson had a career best finish at P6. He ran a one-stop race and was really confident in the car. Hadjar didn't do too well, just strategy-wise, it didn't work out. So yeah, pretty much your typical run-of-the-mill race. They also mentioned during the broadcast that Austria re-signed its commitment to the F1 calendar till 2041, which is a long time. Formula One has commitment issues, especially with long contracts. Be interested to see what happens with that, but always a good sign knowing that Imola is off the calendar now for 2026. And I am excited for Silverstone. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. Leave some comments of things you want to see. Talk about what you thought about the race, and get ready for some more videos because F1 Academy recently released something in the new F1 2026 calendar, which just came out today as I'm recording this on Monday, that I'd love to discuss with you guys.